Hi, how are you? Today I am reviewing Eero Mesh Router Review. 2-minute review. Eero Mesh Design. Since being purchased by Amazon last year, Eero has been very busy. It has not only engineered a smaller mesh networking kit that should be more than enough to fill most homes, but the company has also dropped its prices. At $249 for a 3-pack, it costs $150 less than the similar trio of devices for the 2017 Eero. The Eero devices I looked at had a pair of gigabit RJ45 Ethernet ports, which is a step forward compared to the Nest Wi-Fi extensions, which are wireless only. The Eero units can connect either wirelessly or with an Ethernet cable and are perfect for plugging in a printer or network storage device. A reset button on the bottom of the device lets you wipe it clean of settings. Eero Mesh Performance. Based on Qualcomm's ubiquitous IPQ4019 Wi-Fi chipset, the Eero devices use a 700 MHz quad-core processor that's half the speed of the Nest Wi-Fi's CPU. The Eero has 512 MB of RAM and 4 GB of flash storage space for its firmware and settings. In our single-hop mesh test, where the extension was set up 50 feet from the host, the Eero proved less than stellar, delivering 169.1 Mbps of bandwidth, about one-third of the throughput of the Nest Wi-Fi's 480.1 Mbps. We then added the second extension at a right angle 50 feet away. At this location, the router provided only 50.6 Mbps, versus 211.4 Mbps for the Nest Wi-Fi system. These results were mirrored when I set up the Eero system at my 3,500 square foot home. I installed the router in the middle of the main level and placed the extensions on floors above and below. The devices had a range of 65 feet, which is second best behind the Nest Wi-Fi's 80-foot range. My dwelling's older construction often foils even the strongest Wi-Fi router, and the Eero 3-pack left several portions of the home unconnected. Eero Mesh Setup. Happily, the new Eero devices are just as easy to set up as the old ones, and the devices are interchangeable. Using my Galaxy Note 10 phone, the process started with downloading and installing the Android app. There's also an iOS app for iPhones and iPads. As is the case with the Nest Wi-Fi gear, there's no way to use a web browser to set the devices up. To begin setup, I clicked on Let's Get Started and created an account with Eero using my email address and phone number. I needed to validate the email address with a verification code, but it took a frustrating 3 minutes for the code to arrive, slowing the overall process. Eero Mesh Configuration. Although it can seem cluttered at first, Eero's homepage is a masterpiece of integration, showing all key elements of the network. Reading down from the top, there's an overall status message, on which green means everything is okay, followed by the number of connected clients and the top 3 devices, ranked by use of bandwidth. Below that, you can see what Eero devices are connected, and if you tap on that display, you get to the configuration page. Along the bottom are the most recent download and upload test results and a place to run a fresh test. Tap the upper right, and you'll get a weekly activity report, with details on malware scans, threats and ads blocked, as well as the software's family online content filters. Eero Mesh Smart Home Integration, Security and Parental Controls. The base Eero has adequate security using WPA2 encryption but doesn't have the ability to use the stronger WPA3 protocol or a Trusted Platform Module, TPM, for authenticating its firmware upgrades. Updates are not encrypted and might be a backdoor for a hacker to enter your network. Best Mesh Wi-Fi Systems for 2020. The Eero devices come with a 1-year warranty and a slew of tech support options from the Eero Help Center. You can ask questions and troubleshoot problems with technicians over the phone, in a chat window or via email, and there are articles on the hardware and software, networking primers, and assistant with the mobile apps. It's all very useful and a step up from the 90 days of support that Netgear provides with its Orbi mesh kits. Bottom line. Small and easy to set up, the new Eero mesh kit can fill most homes with Wi-Fi, but it doesn't impress on range or overall performance. less expensive than the original Eero. The latest iteration has expensive security options that add a layer of protection, but that can raise the price by up to $100 a year. The Eero mesh system delivers house-filling Wi-Fi at a reasonable price. It's also one of the best bargains in mesh Wi-Fi, offering a 3-pack for less than the cost of the 2-piece Nest Wi-Fi kit. You'll give up the Nest's built-in Google Home smart speaker, but that's still a relatively new feature that hasn't yet proven its long-term value. Design and build. The Eero units are squat cuboids with gentle curves, matte edges and a reflective finish on the top. Measuring 60 by 98 by 98 mm, they're a lot smaller than your typical networking kit as well. One could pass for an Apple Magic Mouse, if you squinted. Performance. The Eero was tested in a 3-bed terraced house in South London. The first of the 3 devices was installed close to the Virgin Media Superhub 3, which had been set to modem mode, and basically served as the home's main gateway, providing an Ethernet connection for a TV set-top box. Verdict. The Eero Mesh Wi-Fi system is a dream. It's easy to set up, and provides reliable whole-home coverage, and bar a few teething issues, works as intended. For the most part, the system moves devices to the strongest wireless connections automatically, regardless of where you are in the house. The price is good too, and the modular nature of the system means you can build a network that's as big as you need it to be. So I highly recommend getting the Eero Mesh Router review. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my RS product review channel. Thank you.